All righty. What is up, everybody? Looks like we are getting ready to go to war. What's up, Miss Candy? How do you guys feel about that? Leanne, too. Not quite sure. Should be starting any moment. Good to see you, Kelly. Eli, what's going on? Appreciate that. Jari, what's going on? Well, I was watching a video. I think it was Trump in the Oval Office, and he made a comment that we would be going into Venezuela on the ground here soon. So he better not get a bunch of people killed. It's like, oh, the people ain't buying Iran. Right? Let's go to Venezuela. I'll start my war there. That'll be my great war. Make the Bushes happy. Make them proud. Okay, looks like it should be starting here in about 10 minutes. Sorry, I was a little bit busy and then I saw that this was coming on. So I do have a live stream scheduled on the Brown University shooter manhunt, but I'll most likely be rescheduling that for tomorrow. It's been kind of hectic around here. But yeah, this is going to be historic, I believe. I don't know if it's going to be like a bombing campaign or they're planning on sending actual boots on the ground. A lot of people that were crossing the border under Biden were coming from Venezuela. I wonder if that's connected. Or maybe this is just strategic in preparation for World War III. You know, we have all this stuff going on with Israel and Palestine, China and Taiwan, and now you see Japan remilitarizing, and then you have this strategic move by Trump. And remember, when he first got back into office, he came back and took control over the Panama Canal. So I think this is just a sign of things to come. A world war, perhaps, on the horizon. Of course, you got all that stuff that's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, so according to NBC New York, it should be starting here in about 10 minutes. 9 minutes now. All right. The address is a primetime speech from the White House focused on looking back at his first year back in office and outlining plans for 2026 and beyond. Officials say he may discuss economic issues, accomplishments such as border policy and inflation, and future priorities. Kelly, drug war? More like a oil war. I feel like the oil moves the value of the US dollar. So in order to keep the US dollar moving, we got to keep the oil moving. CJK, what's up? Brian Solera. There's any remote chance this is a speech of him stepping down and handing the presidency to Vance? I don't know. Might need to get those Epstein files out real quick. He's like, I know. We'll distract him with a war. Take a page right out of George Bush. The Pentagon can't find $5 trillion in spending. The next day, the World Trade Center is knocked down. I mean, the economy is slowly getting better, but I don't know if it has anything to do with what he's doing. You know, I'm sure he's making steps that are helping, like gas prices and things like that, because that's something they can do overnight if they really wanted to. Let's see. Trump says we want it back. Trump asserts U.S. claims to Venezuelan oil and land. In announcing a partial blockade of oil tankers traveling to and from Venezuela, President Trump claims Caracas stole U.S. land, oil rights, and other assets. Mexico and Brazil urge restraint and diplomacy while Chile's right wing president elect backs regime change. Congress demands the Trump administration disclosure of details on deadly strikes on alleged drug boats off the Venezuelan coast. Crazy. Like, I mean, what is he planning on doing? Like strategic bombing campaigns? See, Trump has ordered what the U.S. government calls a blockade on sanctioned Venezuelan oil tankers. There have already been U.S. military strikes on vessels around Venezuela as part of a broader campaign his administration describes as anti-drug, narco-terrorist actions that critics call an unauthorized act of war. Redfoot, what up? Let's reclassify that weed. If he does it, the VA will be able to prescribe it to me and it'll be free. Nice. Good to see you, Redfoot. Brian Solera, what if this is a speech of him demanding CBS air repeats of The Apprentice? You're fired. On the constant loop 24/7. JKS aside, he might mention Dan Bongino stepping down. Yeah, imagine him stepping down now. Like he's already kind of destroyed his name. What's up, Grunge? Talking about the similarities of 1961 Bay of Pigs blockade. Oh, gosh. Exotic, how's it going? Because of Rob Reiner, maybe he's declaring war on Brentwood. Yeah, that was kind of messed up, that tweet that he sent out. We're going to talk about that on Friday. Episode 1 of Sleuth Intuition Live. Don't miss it. We're going to be talking about the Missy Beavers case with a special guest. Hey, you don't want to miss it. This guest is an expert on the case, Luther Vandross. You may have heard of him. You may have heard of him. Phil Cash Patel, more so than Dan Bongino, has ruined his reputation. Yeah, he has. Definitely ruined their reputation. There's no going back now, especially for Cash. All right. Looks like it should be jumping off here in a couple minutes. I can see some movement down there at the White House. I'm assuming they're going to come out right here. Sensei, what up? Thanks for the flex. Hey, Sleuth and crew in bed listening to the live. Hope everyone is keeping well. Same to you. Appreciate that. So I don't know if he's going to come out here and be like, oh my God, look at all the good stuff I did, when really there's not a whole lot of good stuff that's been done. And then say, oh, by the way, right now as I'm speaking, he likes to do that shit. Like right now as I'm speaking, we are bombing people. We have already successfully launched 10 attacks by the time I'm done with this speech. Redfoot says, did you guys see where the mayor of Chicago raised property taxes by 180%? Dang, that's crazy. We need lower taxes right now. Everything needs to drop down. Trump's like, how do we fix the economy? Well, our war games tell us that a war with Venezuela would do just fine. All right, let's do it. Let's say we're fighting narco-terrorism. Where is this guy?
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say
Monday.com's AI blocks are a total game changer.
Excuse me if I find that hard to believe.
You know that llamas are biologically incapable.
Fucking damn llama.
this happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world, but they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined.
What up,
Starting from day
Fretless?
one, I took immediate
Boston.
action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people. And we're so
All
proud
alone.
of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead.
After
Here
we
at
killed
home,
everybody,
we're bringing our
we have
economy
peace.
back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker is seeing a wage increase of $1,300.
Yeah, that was crazy.
For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government. which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wages increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs. And that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one
Welcome
beautiful
in,
bill. That
Afro
includes
Joe.
no tax on tips,
Afro
no tax
Joe.
on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year. And next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the
water.
just passed one big, beautiful bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776.
We are sending every soldier to Venezuela to die and get
Think of
mangled
that.
and maimed.
And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military. And I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military. And last year, we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interest to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it
Same old
to pay
bullshit.
the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down
Davey.
a lot lower. Wait till you see the numbers.
I don't want to hear any of
and
this
I'll
if he's bringing
soon
us to a
announce
war.
our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power,
yeah, but the border stuff is common
taxpayers,
sense,
and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected. And our country is back stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Wah, wah, wah. That's it. All right, let's hit these last two comments and then we'll get out of here. Every nation should put their own nations first and their citizens how it should be. Yeah. I feel like that's just common sense. Like America first. Whatever country you're in that you're a citizen of should come first. It's kind of like when you're in a plane crash and the oxygen mask falls. They tell you to put it on yourself first. Because it's going to be kind of hard to put it on your child when you're passed out. So if you're in a good position and you have a firm footing and a strong stance, you'll be able to help people better. It's too late, man. It's out there. You already sent it. It's too late. Why didn't he handle the insurance last time? So I guess he didn't declare war. That's good. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's all we could ask for. Americans just want more money in their wallets. They want to be able to own land, property, um, generational wealth, and have cheap health care, right? At some point in time, we all need health care. You know, I had hernia surgery. That shit was like $35,000. Shit ain't cheap. First of all, it shouldn't cost that much, right? But with the amount of money that we pay our own government, honestly, we're slaves, really. We're treated like slaves. There you go, Jari. If you guys want to hit the Cash App, to me that's good news. I was really hoping that we weren't going to war with Venezuela. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'll keep you guys updated on any news on that. And we'll get this live stream that I have scheduled for 8 p.m. We're going to send that to probably sometime tomorrow afternoon. So don't miss it. See you guys then. Peace.